Rocking with your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved. Your favorite movie stars time, your favorite directors time, your favorite writers time, your favorite actors under movie stars time, especially your favorite actresses time, your favorite rappers time. Let's talk about this. Chris Brown, you know, the guy that dances so smooth, does every move, has all the ladies cheering, accused of what? Come on, let's talk about this. Now, here's something you guys may not understand. Shout to TheCzarr watching Troy Terrain, the hater, Star Terrain, to the rest of you, and me. But here's what we got to say. Here's what we got to understand. And here's the only thing I got from it during the time of understanding. Did he come into ownership of his masters? So here's the thing about the industry. Many artists get paid, flash money, flash jewels, fast cars, dance in the videos. Yeah, you can dance up in the videos like Puff when you getting money like Puff. Understand that. But here's what's going on. He owns his masters, and now randomly he's accused of a situation in Paris, as we've heard. Now, how many artists do you know have ended up owning their masters? Now, he's ended up earning it at 29. Just 29 years old. Michael Jackson did not earn his masters till he was in the late of his career, no matter how many hits he had. So Chris Brown was doing work. Oh yeah, he was putting in work behind the scenes, making sure his ownership and business tip was right. So them residuals off of the tracks he made that got women in the club dancing, homies doing the two-step behind them, and just everyone dropping it low. Yeah, he made sure that he had ownership of that for the future. That's what differs him from a lot of other people. Here's what we got to understand with this situation. Do you think that because he came into ownership of his masters, he was targeted a certain way? Do you think because he now owns the very enterprise he's built, that he may have malice towards him as a businessman? Now, no one has a problem with the music he's kicking. No one has a problem when he's sliding across the stage. All these women are screaming for him. Can have basically any woman he wants that comes to his concert. And this is the guy that's supposed to be assaulting women. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just mentioning the ins and outs of it. You see, what really gets me about this, understanding what's going on, is that why now? If he was doing something like this, why now? Because I presume for him to make this decision, it wasn't a split moment. It has occurred before. But why at this moment when he comes into ownership of his masters do we see this happening to him? Could this be indicative of a situation placed on him by a record label? Could this be, let's say, an indication for the true nature of his character altogether? Could this be reasoning for there to be progress made if not halted? What's going on? What are your thoughts on it? See, I sat back and listened to his music and said to myself, this is a guy who can get many women. This is a guy who had the opportunity. You're telling me there was one girl in Paris that he could not get enough of, that did not want him, that he needed. That's hard to say because Chris Brown, I presume he's exercised the man mindset, which would take away from that whole ideology. But let's say he didn't. If he's in this position and he did this, is this after the fact they did it, but they regretted it? Who is this woman? She's of age, but she's not mentioned at all. So could this be an imaginary woman? Why aren't they releasing the victim's name to say she made claims that he has done this? Because there's no retaliation. If he did it, he did it. If he didn't, he didn't. So here's the thing. Don't mess around and not release what they call it, a rape kit or something like that. Don't mess around and not have that, because that's going to be key to showing his mentality, his actions, and everything around what's going on. That's going to be indicative to the whole situation. If you do this without that, I don't know if I could believe it, because we need to see something dealing with it. Now, here's my thing. When was the report made? When did the activity happen? Who's reporting it? Were they at a show? Where was this occurring? Was someone else around to witness this? Or is this just a claim after she woke up in the bed with one of the largest superstars in the world and realize that she made a mistake because she had other things going on in her life, and those other things going on in her life would affect the situation that's going on now, and she'd have to admit to it? Or is this chasing money? All factors that are relevant. All factors are relevant. What are your thoughts on this? Because I already know the czar is sitting here. I'm about to go over some evidence and look through it. Is Chris Brown really guilty of this? Because he's claiming he's not. Did Chris Brown really take advantage and take something that he wasn't supposed to take? Even though we know how women throw themselves at singers such as Chris Brown all the time? Where's this coming from? Why would this be valid? Who would validate this? What would be the reason this would be validated? What proof is there of this occurring? Why is this a necessity? Why is this a situation? Here's what bothers me about this. If all of this is true, how people say it's true, if all of this is really what's going on, where's this evidence leading? What are the factors affecting this evidence? How is this situation going to become settled and nullified to a better standard? These are all things we must understand. These are all things that are relevant. These are all things we can't deny. The position that he's left in because of this situation, it's extreme. The weight of the world is on his shoulders as he's now an owner of his masters and being forced into a situation where he must defend his innocence. That's the thing. It's his innocence. Her innocence. Where does the line draw? Where's there truly proof to show that he's done this? We have not seen any medical release or not even a mention of any medical release being done. We have not heard of the details. It is just thrown out there on the news. Oh, Chris Brown assaults a girl. Like, it's just thrown up. Again, are we taking it at face value? Or are we realizing this was a young man that was working smart behind the scenes to gain his masters? Why would he make a decision of this magnitude? That's the next question. What would cause him to think something like this is okay to do, being all the time he's put in to owning his masters and making his music? But why, once he gains it, does this come out? Did this woman know, potentially, allegedly, that he was in this position to gain his masters and decided to make a report so that she can financially benefit? Or did he really assault her? And is he really a terrible guy? Someone who deserves to go to jail because he takes from women. You see how trivial it gets? We need proof to justify. I need a scenario, a time period, when he did it, was there witnesses? These are all things we take for granted when certain charges are placed, when certain things are said by certain people, when the proof may not be evident right away. These aren't normal claims. These claims are high profile claims on a superstar. Now, we just seen a superstar have claims of him attacking a girl that later retracted it. She retracted it. So how relevant is this information to us knowing that she's telling the absolute truth, that Chris Brown, the world star that has a bunch of women around him, wanted this one woman so bad he couldn't take no? Did she say no? Did she say get away from me? What did she do to validate for him that she wanted nothing to do with him in that way, shape, and form? Where's this relevant? What is the details? What is the information to back this? That's the problem. There's too many gray lines. There's too much uncertainty. And we don't see a factor saying without a shadow of a doubt, this person did this for this and they're wrong for it. We don't see it. Why? Why wouldn't I see it? What is it I'm missing? But that's the thing. And that's what I need everyone to understand as we move forward. What are your thoughts on this scenario? What are you thinking actually happened? Do you find this credible? Or do you find there to be a gap in understanding that's proving to be the weight on his shoulders holding down his superstardom? Tomorrow we're back at it. But you know how I rock. Always rock. From NY to Cali to Florida to Texas, across seas to Europe, UK, all of you stand up. All rights reserved.